Welcome to JoJo Game Game. So in this broadcast, we're going to be talking about Harvest Moon One World through my personal input of the game. For anyone who is planning to buy the game, I will give you a preview or review or whichever you want to call it. But before we start, I want to say that in the bottom screen, we are previewing Keke, her live broadcast on Twitch of her playing Story of Seasons from the very beginning. It is in Japanese, so you won't be able to understand since the game hasn't actually released yet for Story of Seasons, but we are going to be talking about Harvest Moon One World in comparison to Story of Seasons Pioneer of Olive Towns. That was a breathful. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, so in Harvest Moon One World, I bought it as soon as it came out in March 2nd, and this is what I've noticed on my third day playing the game. I'll be very brief. I'll give you the headlines of the things that's wrong with the game that really kind of like me. Anyway, characters are disappearing. You don't buy seeds. Farming tools are automatic. No gay marriage, which is for most people, but I've been kind of looking forward to that. And the variety in one world customization is very, 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 very low. As you can see, the customization in one world isn't like Pioneer of Olive Towns as you see it here, where you get to change your hair color, hairstyles, um, eye color, facial features, variety of actual clothes, where you get to change your top shirt, pants, shoes, gloves, all that good stuff. So anyway, starting from the very beginning. Well, might as well just go talk about the character customization in the game. So the variety of customization in one world compared to Story of Seasons is very low. The customization feature in one world is set. So I haven't like been that far into the game yet, but like I saw spoilers. But anyway, in order for you to change clothes or customization in one world, Harvest Moon One World, it's based off of costume 1, costume 2, costume 3. There is no variation such as like wearing a shirt from this costume with another costume, if you get what I'm saying. So the customization is very low. In fact, you can't do anything besides wear the set costume in a game in Harvest Moon One World. And now we're gonna be moving on to disappearing characters in Harvest Moon One World. So in Story of Seasons, you don't see that at all compared to how I've been watching Keke play her Story of Seasons gameplay in Japanese since it hasn't released in America yet. Um, One big difference is characters are disappearing in one world. But when I mean disappearing in one world, I mean disappearing in one world. For example, they're teleporting. Unlike Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, the mechanics are set to function the same way, where at certain times people walk and do their daily routines. For example, you see people walking at 9 o'clock to the cafe or something like that. But in Harvest Moon One World, you don't see that. For example, if someone does something at 10 p.m., the set function of them to go somewhere else, you see in One World, you literally see someone standing there and then they disappear out of your screen, kind of like a spirit or a ghost. They disappear when you see them on your screen, and then they disappear to another area at certain time, doing their daily routines, tasks throughout the day. That's very weird. It's kind of like you're playing with ghosts or something like that. It makes it difficult for you to like actually do your daily routines task for someone when you walk up to them and it hits a certain amount of time, they just fucking disappear and they teleport somewhere else. So that's my view on that. And there's this, there's this game feature where you zoom in and out of the gameplay, and that's the first thing I noticed. I started using in the zoom and out feature, and okay, no spoilers, but in Harvest Moon World, you start out in your little home with your mom, and I wanted to zoom out my screen so I can like get max preview surface view of the gameplay. And then I went to bed. But before I went to bed, my mom walked to the right away from the kitchen, right? And then I went to bed and I woke up the next day. I saw my mom still standing on the right, but the game refreshed where my mom disappeared and she like spawned back at her original location in front of the kitchen sink. You literally see her disappear from her original position of that day when it refreshes the next day, and she goes back to spawns back in her original location, which is in front of the kitchen sink, which is kind of very sad. Moving on, we are going to be talking about you don't buy seeds. You don't buy seeds in Harvest Moon 1 World. By that I mean there are harvest wisps in the game, and you talk to the harvest wisps that you find in certain locations. For example, every harvest wisp spawns in a fixed location daily at certain times of the game time. And that's the only way for you to get seeds in the game. It's very time consuming, very annoying. You don't go to a general store to buy seeds. You just find a harvest wisp, go up and talk to them, and they give you free seeds. A quantity of one bag, one use, which is very, very sad. Because if you want more of that, you have to like go to sleep, go to that certain location at that certain time, and talk to the wisp again. You don't buy seeds in the game. You talk to Harvest Wisps and they give you free seeds. I know it's free, but it's very time consuming and very annoying, and it's taking away the actual concept of Harvest Moon. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Farming tools are automatic. You don't select anything to use a certain tool function. In fact, you stand in front of a certain item and you press A. For example, stand in front of a rock and press A to use your hammer. Stand in front of a tree and press A to use your axe. But if you're standing in front of the fruit tree and you press A, you just harvest the tree. Stand in front. Oh, moving on. In Harvest Moon 1 World, the storyline is set where you're a traveling farmer, meaning like there are terrains of different farm types, and every farm type terrain that you encounter has a fixed farm field, meaning like you cannot use your hoe in the grass to start up a farm field anywhere, kind of like the original Harvest Moon you would expect. The farm field is fixed, meaning like this farm has a farm field right here and you can't move it. You can't use your hoe to like do anything else and move the farm field. You can't do any of that. Everything is fixed. So in order for you to use your hoe and watering can, you have to go up to the farmland and you have to plow it. And then you press A. You press A for everything in this game. Press A, and then it selects the plowing tile that you just plowed, and it says which seed do you want to sow, and you get to select that. And once you plant the seed, you press A, and it automatically waters your crops, your plants. And you go in front of the watering well and press A, and you use your watering can to refill your thing. Everything is automatic. All you have to do is press A, which it kind of takes away from the original concept of Harvest Moon. To me, it's kind of disappointing because it takes away the concept of manually changing your tools to use the functions. Ugh. And then, moving on, no gay marriage. This is kind of sad because based on fan forums, everyone has been asking for same-sex marriages, but Natsume has not responded or has seen it, but chose to keep going down the road of traditionality, which isn't bad. It's not a problem to me, but it would be fun to have same-sex marriages, like Story of Seasons. Sorry, Ad. Story Season does support same-sex marriages, which I'm really looking forward to, and it does have a better customization feature in the game and when you start the game. Oh, going back. The only thing you can customize yourself in one world from the beginning is like you can only change your hair color, eye color, and skin color. And that's it. That's in one world from the beginning. That's the only options they give you to start out your character upon customization, which is very, very, very sad. Other than that, there. Other than that, I really like the game. The storyline is like a huge part of the game, where it's almost like Stardew Valley. I'm not sure how to put it, but the story is very big in the game. It's very adorable. The dialogues are very adorable because when you talk to people, you actually see their characters when they're talking with the dialogues and stuff. It's very cute. And the characters are like well done and developed. All of them have their own little stories, kind of like Stardew Valley. And the original Harvest Moon concept of like people still having their storylines and stuff like that. Even though gay marriage, same-sex marriages aren't supported in the game, I'm a male character still building up friendships to other guys, which is kind of cute in my idea, but whatever. Other than that, the gameplay is smooth. The gameplay is smooth. The character is very good. The storyline is a huge part. Um, Harvest Moon One World did take a lot of original concepts away, such as like manually changing your tools for different functions, um, buying seeds, um, plowing tiles to build your farm field on your farm. In Harvest Moon One World, you're a traveling farmer, which is a different idea away from the Harvest Moon that I grew up with. But my golden time with Harvest Moon was probably Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar because it was just everything was just great about the game. Even though I did wish that same-sex marriages was supported in the game. Um, but if there was a remastered version of Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, take my money. Take my fucking money. And add in customization features and all that good shit. But yeah, what you're watching now is Story of Seasons of Story of Seasons Pioneer of All the Towns Underneath. Keke has been I went into her past live broadcast of her playing Story of Seasons, and just to show you the differences in One World and Story of Seasons. Story of Seasons is the original creator of Harvest Moon, since Natsume and Marvelous has broken ties to not collaborate anymore. So this is what we get. Some complications, but what works is good. So I'm really looking forward to story. I keep saying Harvest Moon. I'm really looking forward to Story Season when it comes out on March 23rd. I just can't wait to play it so much. I almost bought Story Season in Japanese, like have it shipped from Japan here so I can get it earlier. I don't know Japanese, only a little bit, but I was willing to do that. But I'm just gonna wait for Story Seasons Pioneer of Olive Town to release so I can play in English and Japanese. Yeah. Whenever I feel like it. I switch the language back and forth. But anyway, thank you for watching. Here is a quick recap of what I reviewed. The negativity, the negative aspects of the game that I didn't like. Characters are disappearing. You don't buy seeds. Okay. And farming tools are automatic. No gay marriage. No variety and one world customization. of clothes and farm fields fixed, farmland fixed, something like that. All right. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check Keke out on Twitch at here. Let me type it in. Maybe you'll see it. Keke 1006 at Keke 1006 on Twitch. So anyway, this is just my one world input. I haven't used any visual gameplay or images or anything like that to like feature in this broadcast because this is just a one take live stream. So there you go. Yeah. All right. If you have any questions, just message me on my social medias or yeah, just message me on my social medias. Ask me, hey, what's this in Harvest Moon One World? Can I do this in One World? And I'll let you know because I do have the physical game on my Switch, and I will let you know if there's something I didn't cover in here. Ask me, DM me, I will let you know. Okay, JoJo Game is out. Thank you, Keke. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for letting me use your past broadcast of story seasons so we can like put it in comparisons of Harvest Moon One World and Story of Seasons, Pioneer of All Towns. Thank you. All right, JoJo Game is out. Bye.